At the beginning, we meet Vesper, a young woman who lives in a dystopian world where there is great inequality between the elites and the poor. The elites live in protected cities called citadels, while others struggle to survive in a difficult scenario. In this world, the only way to feed oneself is through special seeds that come from the citadels, but they are genetically modified to yield only one harvest, making people always dependent on the citadels. Vesper, who struggles to survive in this cruel place, has the company of her father, Darius, a former military man who became paralyzed and had his mind transferred to a drone, which allows him to see and talk to his daughter while she explores this dangerous world. Vesper is an intelligent and brave girl who goes out every day in search of food and who also has great knowledge of biology and biohacking. Vesper and Darius's life was peaceful until one day Vesper returns home and finds everything ransacked. Someone sabotaged the generator that provided power to their house and to the vital equipment that kept Darius alive. Desperate, Vesper goes out in search of help at a nearby farm. There, she encounters a horrible situation. The farm also has its problems, among them a jug, a genetically altered human being designed to be a worker, but without intelligence. The jug is injured and no longer serves any purpose. Jonas, the farm boss and Darius's brother, orders a young man to finish him off. Hey, the movie I'm going to summarize is called Vesper. It's a very good and strange movie at the same time. It's a mixture of suspense, drama, science fiction, and adventure. That's why I invite you to subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and activate the bell to receive the best recaps. Vesper witnesses this shocking scene and asks Jonas to give her bacteria to fix her generator, offering her blood as payment, a precious commodity that Jonas uses to trade for seeds in the citadels. Jonas wants her to be part of his group, promising to take care of her father as well. But Vesper feels very uncomfortable with Jonas's plans, thinking he intends to use her to bear children, something she absolutely refuses to accept. After donating her blood, Vesper finds herself at an impasse when Jonas doesn't immediately deliver the bacteria she needs, saying that he first has to negotiate the blood, which will take a few days, time that Darius doesn't have. Irritated and anguished, Vesper tries to get her blood back, but is caught and expelled from the farm by Jonas. Determined, she returns to the farm, using a secret passage that only she knows about. Before entering, Vesper comes face to face with a boy, but he pretends not to see anything and leaves. Vesper sneaks into Jonas's laboratory and takes the bacteria that belong to her. She takes advantage of the opportunity to steal some seeds that came from the Citadel. When she gets home, she repairs the generator without delay and begins tests with the seeds she took to see if she can make them fertile. Vesper encounters Camelia, a woman from the Citadel in the forest, alive but unconscious, with plants sucking her vital energy. Vesper wastes no time, removing the plants and taking Camelia home, where she tends to her injuries. Camelia tells that she was a passenger on the glider that Vesper had seen crash and that she is looking for her father, who was with her. Even with Darius being against it, Vesper agrees to help in the search. She leaves early for her task, while Camelia stays at home because she can't walk properly. She quickly finds the crashed glider with Elias, Camelia's father, inside it. But she's not the only one to find it. Jonas and some other survivors also arrive at the crash site. Jonas, without caring about Elias's pleas, decides to end his life just because he comes from the Citadel. Vesper tries to prevent it, but Jonas pushes her away without concern. He also finds a feminine handkerchief in the glider, concluding that another passenger must be somewhere. Darius proposes warning the Citadel of what's happening before Camelia does something extreme or before Jonas finds her. But the only way to talk to the Citadel is using a transceiver that's in Jonas's house. Vesper accepts the plan and lies to Camelia, saying she didn't find anything but will try again the next day. Gradually, Camelia gains Vesper's friendship. Vesper then decides to share her secret, the greenhouse. This greenhouse is proof of Vesper's creativity, housing various genetically modified plants, each with unique properties and traits. Vesper takes pride in her inventions, but still dreams of creating a plant that can generate nutritious seeds. While Vesper dedicates herself to her plants, Darius quietly confides in Camelia. He confesses that they will never be able to enter a citadel, but asks her to be understanding. as Vesper's desire to reach the Citadel is everything to her. Vesper wants to know why they were banished from the Citadel, and Camelia tells about the leader's fear of resource scarcity. Vesper suggests that they could do the harder work, but Camelia shows that the Citadel likes to have control. Unlike humans, the genetically modified workers, called jugs, don't rebel. That night, they have a musical moment, with Vesper singing and Camelia playing her mother's old instrument. The next day, Vesper invades Jonas's house again to use the transceiver, but this time, Jonas sees Darius's drone and catches it. Under the pretext of fixing the drone, Jonas questions Vesper about the missing seeds and the mysterious traveler, revealing his contempt for liars, especially among his relatives. Vesper, refusing to confess anything, grabs the drone and runs, only to realize it doesn't work, and drops it while trying to pick it up again. Vesper encounters a horrible scene: the body of Jonas's helper, who turned a blind eye to Vesper when she entered the farm, dead under a tree. Before she can understand if he was murdered for helping her, Jonas's henchmen capture her, forcibly marking her as Jonas's property. Distressed and exhausted, Vesper returns home, where Camelia quickly gives her comfort. Regretful for not having told the truth, Vesper loses control and confesses to Camelia that Elias is dead. Camelia wants to see her father's body. Vesper shows Camelia the reality, dragging her to see her father Elias's corpse, which is decomposing in the river. Camelia is shaken by the scene, entering a deep emotional crisis. She clings to her dead father in desperation, forcing Vesper to act and pull her from the river. In this dramatic moment, Vesper observes a strange mark on Camelia's back that changes curiously upon contact. This discovery leads to a surprising truth. Camelia is not human, but a very sophisticated jug, an invention of Elias, who was banished from the Citadel for creating an intelligent servant. Camelia admits her lie, telling that she was escaping from the Citadel and never intended to lead Vesper and Darius to the Citadel. Angry about this lie, Vesper physically attacks Camelia before they return home. Arriving at the location, Vesper orders Camelia to leave after cleaning up. Meanwhile, Vesper fixes the drone and tells Darius what happened during the day. Darius, understanding the difficult situation, asks Vesper to be kinder to Camelia, saying that jugs are controlled by their programming and don't have freedom of choice. During this time, Camelia, suffering from lack of purpose and fear of being caught by the Citadel, thinks about taking her own life. However, Vesper, touched by her father's words, arrives just in time, recognizing the possibility of Camelia helping in her research. Vesper suggests using a sample of Camelia's cells. The procedure is complicated because Camelia's cells are blocked, just like the Citadel's seeds. With Camelia's music, Vesper manages to calm down and make alterations to the Citadel's seeds, ensuring a food source for the future. Vesper leaves for a moment to get more materials for her experiments from the old laboratory, taking the drone with her. Camelia takes the opportunity to keep an eye on Darius, but encounters a dangerous situation when Jonas appears. Camelia pretends she doesn't know anything, but Jonas doesn't fall for her lie and puts Darius at risk. Camelia agrees to accompany Jonas without making a scene. However, Jonas sees the mark on her back that reveals her as a jug and tries to make her obey him. At the decisive moment, Vesper returns and joins Camelia and the drone in the battle against Jonas. With great effort, they subdue him, but Vesper doesn't want to kill him. She makes an offer. She tells him that she managed to make fertile seeds with Camelia's DNA and that they would never go hungry again and wouldn't need the Citadel's seeds. Jonas pretends to accept, but he deceives them by communicating with the Citadel and telling them where Camelia is. When night comes and Vesper finishes her work on the seeds, her moment of glory is interrupted. Darius's drone detects an external danger, indicating that the Citadel is coming. A strange creature enters their house. If it touches a person, it kills instantly, and it's also releasing a poison. Darius, who was formerly military, quickly realizes the risk and tells Vesper and Camelia to hold their breath until the danger passes. Camelia, blaming herself for the risk they face, proposes to surrender herself to save Vesper and Darius. But Darius doesn't accept her sacrifice, knowing that the Citadel will continue after Vesper, so he devised a plan to deceive the soldiers, allowing Vesper and Camelia to escape. Vesper didn't want to abandon her father in the face of danger from the Citadel's soldiers, but Darius convinced her to hide nearby, telling her he would resolve the situation. He intended to tell the soldiers that there was no jug around, using his experience as a former military man to talk to them. The soldiers come close and go straight to Jonas's farm, where they kill him and his people. At the same time, a very sad Vesper and Camelia leave Darius's house. They hide everything and flee with the precious unlocked seeds to the forest. Vesper doesn't know that her father plans to kill himself, detonating the drone in an attempt to finish off the soldiers. From high up in a tree in the forest, Vesper sees the explosion and, overcome with despair, wants to go help her father. Camelia, knowing the risk this represents, holds her back, saying there's nothing more to be done for Darius. Two soldiers who escaped the explosion start hunting Vesper and Camelia. The two take refuge in a swamp, knowing there are plants that can kill their enemies. They manage to eliminate the first soldier with one of these plants. But the second soldier is smarter and doesn't fall for the same trap. Vesper and Camelia crawl and camouflage themselves among the bushes, trying not to be seen. But a plant makes a noise and reveals their location to the soldier. With no other option, Vesper and Camelia go on the attack. They fight with the soldier, take his weapon, and push him into the fatal plants which kill him. When the gliders approach, the danger increases. Camelia knows that the Citadel won't give up hunting her while she's with Vesper. She makes a difficult choice. She realizes that Vesper and the valuable seeds will never be safe while she stays. Against Vesper's will, Camelia gently puts her to sleep and covers her with dry leaves before surrendering to the soldiers. The next day, Vesper wakes up and sees her house in ruins. She plants some of the released seeds in the remains of her old garden, a gesture of hope and renewal. After the destruction, she finds a group of children who escaped the attack on Jonas's farm. They decide to follow the enigmatic people who walk around, wanting to know their fate. Their journey leads them to a strange construction made by these people. Curious, Vesper reaches the summit of the tower. There, she releases the seeds from her hand, letting the wind scatter them to various places on Earth. This symbolic gesture expresses her faith that the seeds will germinate and multiply, offering food to everyone. The movie ends with this message, leaving a mark of persistence and the power of hope. So that's it. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell to be notified of new summaries.